You are watching Checks Daily. Viral video on the way right now. We check in with Sandra Duick for your edition of Business 911. And you brought to our attention that budgets are coming down next week, which is really the culmination of a year's worth of work for chambers of commerce like yours.
Yes, this is where we kind of hope to see if we've had any impact, but it's also a good evaluation of what work still needs to be done as well. So we'll have the federal budget, which will be coming down on Tuesday, and then the provincial budget on Thursday. So it's kind of a policy geek like me. It's a great week. I'm getting excited for next week.
So what kind of things are we looking forward to?
Well, really what we want to see in a budget from the business perspective is something that doesn't have has a lot of room for a business to grow. It doesn't have a lot of, the biggest thing is regulatory burden. And in the past year, the province has put a lot of regulatory burden in place. We've had increases to minimum wage, which are now going to happen every year, so businesses have to budget for that. We have the new Waste Diversion Act, a review of the Labor Relations Act, so that could result in changes for business that they may not have planned for. The Ontario Retirement Pension Plan, another regulatory burden that businesses will have to deal with, understand, implement, all of these things that take time, that take resources on top of what's actually going on with the business. So we had our at our AGM the end of March, we had Hendrik Braco from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, and he said, you know what, businesses need 5 things. They need people, capital, technology and innovation, access to markets, and they need an efficient regulatory environment. And so if a budget
I don't think people think about that last one.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Because, the more paperwork you pile on top, well, the less, you have no time to work on your business while you're kind of working in your business, making sure you're following what needs to be followed. So really what we want to see in a budget is something that addresses those 5 issues so that businesses can grow. Ontario can be competitive. Ontario has to be competitive not only within its borders, but compared to Quebec, compared to Manitoba, compared to New York State, Ohio State, global markets as well. So all of these regulatory things that we talk about affect how competitive we can be compared to other locations that people are looking to either bring their business or invest in their business. So there are a lot of components that really come into it. So just as I think I say a lot on here, things aren't happening in isolation from each other. They're all happening at the same time, and that applies to how we are competitive, how we are not competitive. Electricity prices is another thing. Wow. How they deal with the debt and the deficit. They said the deficit's going to be eliminated by 2017, 2018, but that still leaves almost a $300 billion debt. So there's lots of moving parts in what happens with the budget.
All right.
Sandra Duick, looking forward to the 2 budgets being released this week. Now we're all excited as well.
Budget geek.
We've got viral video on the way, but first, Business 911 is...
Business 911 is brought to you by Nexacom Unlimited Internet. We have what it takes.